You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. To be honest with you, it's a crucial part of growing and becoming the best version of yourself. Today on Always Undeniable, I'm going to talk to you about why it's so important and why you need to incorporate it going forward.
That's your name.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another installment of Always Undeniable. I'm your host, Sanaa Collins, and I'm back here today for another great episode full of information for y'all to consume. If you haven't already, make sure you go back last week to my previous episode. Make sure you follow me on social media if you don't already at Always Undeniable. I post every single day, twice a day. So there's always something for me on socials, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, in addition to these videos. If you're not a part of my Patreon, join now. $5 a month for endless amounts of content I upload there every single Friday as well. At least 2 pieces of content every single week. So with all of that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Now look, being uncomfortable is no fun for anybody. But at the end of the day, it's one of the best teachers, because if you're able to get through that, you will grow 10 times more than someone who stays with what they know, who stay in the same place and don't move at all. I have a perfect example of this. Even though I do it every single day, posting on social media in a sense is still very uncomfortable, because I've said it before and I'll probably say it again. Always Undeniable was built off of my experiences, whether good or bad, but it's also built off of this idea that I'm having a conversation with the younger version of myself, otherwise known as the worst version of myself. And showcasing all these lessons that are directed at a younger version of me is uncomfortable. It's not fun to self-reflect all the time. It's not fun to analyze your past decisions, past mistakes, etc. It's not fun to do that, because you can find yourself regretting certain things you might have done, you might have said, etc. You see things that you could have done better that you didn't do, and so you ended up where you are. And that's the perfect example for me. Now, granted, I'm in a great place and I made a business and I made all these things out of my experiences and it got me to the best position of my life. But that's not the reality for everybody. Finding comfort while being uncomfortable is such a great tactic, because if you're able to deal with the situation and roll with the punches, you'll be able to get through anything. And if you think about it, it really does make sense, right? Someone who stays in the same place and only sticks with what they know isn't going to move anywhere. Whereas the person that actively goes out and forces themselves to change, forces themselves to be uncomfortable all the time, are the people who grow. And you can apply that to multiple facets of life. You can apply it to the gym. That person that's going every single day, that person that's going to failure, that person that's going extra hard on reps, on sets, that person who's doing mad cardio versus the person who isn't. Rejection therapy is a big thing right now on social media. The person that goes up to random people and asks them questions, asks for stuff for free, etc. All of those things are examples of people who are out of their comfort zone, but are also finding comfort in that because they know it's going to help them grow. They know it's going to help turn them into the best version of themselves. And that's what we should all be doing at the end of the day. If you're someone who's been looking to change your life, one thing you need to understand is that change is difficult. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Humans don't adjust well to change, but you can train yourself to find that comfort while being uncomfortable. The first thing you have to understand is the feeling of being uncomfortable can mean a bunch of different things. It can mean you care. It can mean you're off balance, but it can also mean you're in unfamiliar territory. And to see real growth, you have to be in unfamiliar territory. When I created Always Undeniable, I was so sure of it. So confident in what it was going to be like, what it was going to sound like, look like, all of it. But the day before launch, I was hit with this wave of overwhelming uncertainty, just dissatisfaction, all these negative emotions for whatever reason. I started thinking about the perception of the brand from other people, and I think it's because I cared so much about what I wanted it to be that I started taking into consideration anyone else's opinion, which almost stopped me from launching when I was supposed to. I started second guessing myself, but I didn't let it take over. I handled my business anyway, and I put the platform out, and I couldn't have been more grateful that I did it anyway. I reminded myself that I had already put in the time, I had already put in the work, and I had already recorded and had done this episode in a way that I felt satisfied before this launch. I always knew building a brand and being the face of that brand would be uncomfortable. However, it's a type of uncomfortable that I knew was necessary for me to grow and for me to get what I want out of this life. I had to get comfortable with that, and that's exactly what I did. The same exact thing happened a few months in when I decided I was posting on social media every single day. That was uncomfortable. I posted pictures and videos, obviously on stories, on my main feeds, etc. But this was different because now it's out for the public to see. It isn't just within the circle or the community, the people that know me and that I know mutually. This is for the world to see. This is Always Undeniable front and center, where I'm talking about my life, my experiences, the things I've went through, my body transformation, all of these things that were known to my circle and my close community, but now is out there for everybody to see. So of course that's going to be uncomfortable. And in doing so, I forced myself into a new level of discomfort, but now it's comfortable out here. I love putting my videos out every single day, putting my face out there every single day, because I know my content is resonating with people. It's helping people. At the end of the day, that's the main goal of Always Undeniable, is help other people through my experiences. It was in that discomfort that I was able to grow. And I grew 10 times more than I ever would staying in my comfort zone, posting 1 to 2 times a week like I was doing before. I could have decided I wasn't going to post and just hope for the best if I uploaded videos on YouTube and clips of it on social media, but I decided to take the opposite route because growth lives in discomfort. When you're uncomfortable, you're almost forced to do your best work. And if you really want that change you talk about all the time, you have to do your best work while you're uncomfortable. If you fall back into your old habits, if you fall back into what's comfortable, you'll stay stuck. You won't move, and there will be no growth. There will be no improvement. You'll continue to feel miserable and feeling like there's nothing you can do to improve your life. I keyed in on the social media example because one, it's the most recent, but two, it goes to show that the more I did it, the more I got used to it, the better it felt. It was uncomfortable. Believe me, I did not want to do it, but I know I had to do it if it meant growing my brand and growing the popularity of Always Undeniable. I've said it once and I say it again. You say you want change, but what are you willing to sacrifice for it? I was willing to sacrifice my comfort for the means of growing and becoming a better person. Whether it's starting a conversation you normally wouldn't, getting up a little earlier, or just stepping outside of your daily routines, those small actions will get you right and get you more comfortable with uncomfort and the unknown. What you're doing is training your mind and your body to handle discomfort. Every small uncomfortable thing you do is like a rep in the gym. It's building your tolerance and it's building your resilience. That way, when that major thing you've been stressing out over finally shows up, you're ready for it. Another key strategy for you to shift the way you see comfort and uncomfort is reframing the topics as a whole. If you ask me, discomfort is a sign of progress. It's proof you're paying attention. It's proof that your mind and your body know you're in unfamiliar territory, like I mentioned earlier. It means you're aware of the challenges, the mistakes, and the weak spots that have to be addressed. But your response to that discomfort determines what happens next. We need to talk about the other side of the conversation because discomfort isn't always a good thing. There's a huge difference between productive discomfort and destructive discomfort. I've said it before, but it's worth repeating again. Society loves romanticizing the idea of the grind. But sometimes discomfort is actually a signal that something is wrong. Take physical discomfort, for example, right? Let's say you're in the gym, you're going hard. That's one thing. If you work out regularly, you're used to being sore. Now, on the other side, if you got shooting pain instead of soreness, that's a sign that your body telling you to chill out. But if you continue to work anyway, and you just say no pain, no gain, that's destructive. But this applies to life in general too. If you're in a toxic environment, you're feeling burnt out, you have these negative emotions that's tied to someone or something, those are all signs of destructive discomfort. It's your mind and body signaling the fact that there needs to be a change. Now, productive discomfort is different. Yes, it's off-putting. And yeah, it feels shaky and uncertain, but it's usually aligned with something that you want. Like I said earlier, that fear I felt when I decided to post for a bigger audience, when I decided to post outside of my circle, was productive discomfort. Or in a more general sense, think about it like this. Those nerves you felt before your driver's test. Those nerves you feel before a big game, before an important test. All of that is productive discomfort because it's linked to your growth and development as a person. But destructive discomfort is the type that says, hold on, let's chill out, let's pivot. That's not the kind of discomfort you can just power through. It's the kind that tells you to reevaluate the situation and go another direction. If you're ever unsure about what type of discomfort you're feeling, ask yourself these questions. Is this helping me grow, or is this keeping me in the same spot? Is this good for my well-being, or it's just hurting me? Overall, leaning into discomfort is crucial, especially when you're trying to make a change or build a new life. If you go through the entirety of your life staying comfortable, you'll never give yourself the room to grow into the person you're supposed to become. The life you want is on the other side of discomfort, so get used to it. Lean into it and become the person you're supposed to be. With that being said, I want to hear from y'all. Drop 2 things in the comments that you're going to do this week to get uncomfortable. I promise you it's well worth it. I appreciate y'all tapping back in for another installment of Always Undeniable. Be sure to tap back in next week as I will have another episode for you guys. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on social media at Always Undeniable. I post twice a day on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. If you're not on the Patreon, check it out. $5 a month for endless amounts of content. There's new stuff there as we speak. Over on Patreon, it's a little different vibe. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Otherwise, stay blessed, stay positive, stay motivated. This has been Always Undeniable.